Good afternoon.
Hello, participants. Welcome to today's edition of FTNI Debate. We are glad to have the four participants today. Amit from West Bengal, Aishwarya from Telangana, Bhansha from Madhya Pradesh, and Nagesh from Karnataka. Our topic for today is common good. That is what we are going to have a discussion upon in the first round. The participants will be speaking for 2 minutes on the common good for 2 minutes. So let us start with Nagesh. And Nagesh, please go ahead with your elaboration. So I think we have lost touch with Nagesh. We can start with Abhansha then. Abhansha, you take over and please uh, provide your views on the concept of common good, and your time starts now.
Sure. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Let's speak about the topic, which is common goods for today. And as we know, this is a historical concept which started way back from the concepts originated from Plato, Aristotle, Cicero. So these are a very long back things which have been there in the history itself. So let's just see what it is. So common goods, as the name suggests, it's the goods which are for the common people. There are two properties which actually defines them, or any kind of goods which can be separated from each other. So there is first the rivalry part of it, whether one part of a good consumed by one person can deteriorate the ability or the access to the other person, the consumption part of it or the amount part of it. Second being, is it excludable? Can you exclude that good to be used if one person is using from the other or the rest part of it? So when you see these properties, common goods fall in the category of rivalrous and non-excludable. They are rivalrous, that is consumption decreases the amount or the kind of consumption for the other person, and it cannot be excludable for the other person. Now, as far as examples to see, there could be natural resources, wild fishes, if you see in the oceans, fishing areas, and clean air, clean water. Even if we see institutions, facilities, these are also the kind of examples which we can have it. In the economics part of it, when you see it, public goods or the common goods are something which is a platform given by the, right now in our scenario, we can say government is the one who is the facilitator of that. And in return, we can see that what we as a audience or the people have it in response is the taxes in terms of what we return to it. So the maintenance part of it. I think briefly we can say that common goods are something which we all are going to use, and that way it makes them to make them safe, make them make it better, and it's fall into everybody's shoulders and the responsibility of each citizen to maintain them. And I think we can continue over, I think being the time limited, further on this topic. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Abhansha. Now we can go to Amit. Amit, please share your views on the concept of common good.
Thank you, sir, and very good afternoon to all of you. Today's topic, common good. So, according to me, common good is like some policies or governance part from which a good thing happens to every people who is affected from that policy. Let's take an example. Like recently, Government of India has made some farmers law, from which we can see that there are some particular part of farmers who are protesting, and there are particular part of farmers who are not protesting. So here we can differentiate that whether that law is for common good or not, whether that law is going to help each and everyone or not. So in this way, we can describe common good is the policies or the framework in which everyone should have some good part. Here, Avansh has told, that sharing of resources or sharing of public transport or sharing of fisheries areas, all this comes into common good, but we need a strong framework by which each and everyone can use that in their good way. So here, sustainable development is also part of the same thing. Similarly, carbon footprints, reducing the carbon footprint is also a part of the same common good, by which we can sustain today and our next generation can also sustain. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Amit. Now we can move to our third contestant, Aishwarya. Aishwarya, please share your views on the concept of common good.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. So, common good, as we came to know, is what is good for most of the community, or which is chosen, or like which most of the members participated and choose for themselves, or chosen for people by whomsoever are making these decisions. So common good generally refers to, in a perspective, it refers to the good which is supposed to be helpful for most of the community, most of the category of people, or in the other case, to all. It was supposed to be to all, but there would be some differences between people and may or may not be helpful to everyone. So it was mostly focused on a set of people who will be mostly helpful because of this. So we can say all these things, like our government has provided, or whatever, our facilities, our health facilities, or transportation, or bridges, or other aspects, all these comes under common good. Sorry. So in a way, common good is mainly focused on, though it was meant for every person in the society, every person living under the roof of the society, but it mainly focuses on most of the category of people rather than covering all of them. So to the grassroots levels, it may not be the concept which we see actually. So the topic we see, common good, is referring to good for every person, but to the grassroots levels it may not reach, or there may be some negatives or things around this also.
Okay.
So
Thank you, Aishwarya. Your time is up.
thank you.
Okay, now we can move to our fourth contestant, Nagesh. Nagesh, are you connected with us? Hello?
Yeah,
Yes.
sir. Shall I start?
Yes, Nagesh, please go ahead.
Please confirm if I'm not able to. I'm not able to listen your voice because there is some mistake in mobile. I think. If I'm audible, you just give me a
yes,
thumbs so that I can continue.
Nagesh, you are audible. You are audible. Yes.
Audible, right?
Yes, you are audible. Please go ahead.
Yes. Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Nagesh from Karnataka. So let's start with the common goods. What are the common goods? So as per my analysis, the common goods are nothing but these are the commodities which are really required for us from the daily life to the modernized society. So let's take an example. So when the person has born on this planet, he has used the food is only for his common goods because there was not well developed the technology, and the society and the civilization was not formed, and there is only food for the common goods for him. But now if you compare from that time to till today, the common goods are increasing the generation by generation, the century by century, what we can say. Because let's take an example. When you look into the past 50 years back, before the pre-independence, there was a common goods like the education was a common good, health sector was a common good, and the basic needs is a common good. Food and shelter, these are the common goods. And basically, when after the post-independence, whatever we have developed the decade by decade, and the decade by decade, and the technology, how we have adapted the common goods are keep on adding in this baskets. And now the common goods are, I can say, from the food material to whatever we are using today, the digital, the materials like mobile is also, it comes under the common goods. And this is how this is keep on adding. Might be in the next another next decade, it might be some other product can be added into this commodity baskets. And this is how, because along with that we have to keep the improving our the axis and our usability, I can say, towards the sustainability. Because there was, if you look into the post independence, there was the many the product has been used over they override the environmental effect that led into forestation and the overgrazing, deforestation, and the over exploitation on the humans. And let's take an example like the weapons also. They have used they have overtaken all these the limits. And because now we have to go with along with some the fabrics, which fabrics will really make us to live sustainable for the long time, and which really make a sense for the next generation. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Nagesh. Now we will take questions from the audience. You can ask the questions. Okay, so we have a question ready from Kavya for Aishwarya. Kindly go ahead.
Hello all, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, Aishwarya, I have a question to put forward before you. You told that common goods, it depends upon the majority community of people. Speaking of which, India is a land of diverse culture and India is a land of collective people and collective ideas. So, how can we be centralized? I mean, how can we just say the common goods is only based, or it is only for the majority group of people? How far it is justified from your end?
Yeah, let's say currently we are having a pandemic, we are facing a pandemic, right? So based on the consequences we have faced, the scenarios we have experienced, the everything what we have gone through, so government have made decisions to protect people, to protect everyone, whomsoever possible, to protect them from the pandemic, right, from the current situation. So sorry. So based on that, what they have done, they have extended the hospital areas. They've expanded all these facilities, oxygen cylinder, everything, right? They were supposed, these were also common good currently in this current state. These were also supposed to be a common good, right? Because it was helpful for each and every person. But when we say India is centralized, but still we are fighting with the same problems again and again. Like we can say illiteracy or poverty. The problems are common, right? So when decisions are made to the majority of people, so what was the majority of the people meant? It meant like that it should reach to the each and every family, right? Because family is the grassroots level of any society, of any community. So these were made to reach every family. So government, whatever the laws made or whatever the decisions taken based on people's choice, they were making these laws. Let's say they've expanded all these hospitals. To what extent these were helpful to the people? So there was black market also. So the it was supposed to be a common good. The oxygen cylinders were supposed to be a common good, but because of this black market, they were not being reached to the grassroots levels or to the people who need them most.
Okay.
All right, but we are not being inclusive. We are not just being specific about the COVID pandemic or some other scenarios. When we talk in general, when we have a eagle's view, we have to look all other dimensions. And what you say is that correlating with the thing which is happening now in the country, and I just want to know that.
Yeah, okay, Aishwarya, just
Yeah.
in 1 minute, okay?
Kavya, shall I continue to adding the points of the Aishwarya also? She has made a very good point, which is related to the current now.
I don't
we
know,
have
the
to
host has to decide.
No, no, no.
Yes.
Nagesh, no. Aishwarya will reply in brief. Yeah.
Yes. So as I said, this is one example where we can see how the common good is currently being like in the country, like helpful to the society. So similarly, most of the cases or most of the problems we face, where does common good come from? It comes when we face some problems, when we've had questions, right? Like everyone is having doubts. So how does we can solve them? By providing education to them, by providing knowledge to them, we can solve some problems. We can create more solutions, right? So the problems were common faced by the society. Maybe in a broader way, when we say the problems, whatever we are talking about, are mostly, as I said, poverty, illiteracy, um, most of the cases, all of this, right? Deforestation, environmental impact, and all these things. These are all common problems which we were trying to fight with, right? So this is just an example saying how common good is currently, how we are facing it.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Ashika.
We are
Now we'll move to the
with.
next audience. Please, who wants to ask the question from other participants? Kindly go ahead. Message me. You can directly. Yeah. Okay, Shiladitya. Yeah.
Sir, I have a small question. Anyone can answer it. The question is like,
We'll have to decide. You say I want the question to be answered from this participant.
okay, I'll then prefer Amit to answer it
Amit.
because he was a bit elaborative on it.
Fine.
Like, so it's a very small question. Like over the discussion, what I could get it. It's my point. They have made common goods for the commoners. According to Amit also, it's like that. So I have a question regarding that. Even Aishwarya, like she has discussed right now, in this pandemic situation, all the goods those are needed for the commoners are the common goods. So what is the difference between the essential goods or essential commodity and the common goods? So if okay, I'll stop only this and let them to speak. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Slavitya, for a beautiful question. Here, first of all, I haven't said that goods. I am just taking the good as a noun. Like I just told that policies and frameworks which are applicable to all, whether it's rich or poor, educated or illiterate, it should beneficial to all. Now coming to your point that what are essential goods and what are common goods. So in a whole manner, in a bigger picture, you can say that every essential good is a common good, which should be utilized by all. Here, I particularly say like employment. It's an intangible good, but it is a common good which should be used by all. Like food, it is needed by a rich or poor. Like education, it is required by a rich or a poor. So here, I again will focus on the policies of the frameworks made by a bureaucrat or a government for most of the group or citizens of India. Here, one more thing. You haven't asked this, but I want to add this. Like in management, we study that if you want to manage everything, you can't manage anything. In this concept of common good, also, if I am making the policies for the complete nation, there will be a lot smaller people or smaller group of people who will be unsatisfied. So here this balance comes that what are the requirement of the common good, which is beneficial to all. I think I made the point clear.
Yeah, you still have the time. Shiladitya, you can still ask one more question for you.
So I will. Sir, can I carry it to other participants? I mean,
No,
function.
no, it is Amit's time now. Any other participant can ask a question from Amit if you don't have a question. Yes, quickly, Rashmi, if you want to ask question, Abhishek to Amit, because his time is remaining. Hello, anyone? Okay, Amit, I will just want you to elaborate upon, please, how education is common good, and how do you view the future of education in India, and whether in the education system itself they are teaching this thing, the concept of common good, to our students or not? Just give your input.
Sir, yes, I will strongly support that. Yes, education is a common good, because if a rich or a poor, whatever the economic category, whether caste, creed, religion, sex, color, whatever it is, the education is the basic need of everything. We have to educate our younger generation so that they can create a beautiful world for us in which they can live sustainably. Here, if we are not educating the people, if we are not educating the values of knowledge or the wisdom, then how can the world will be? There will be chaos, there will be unemployment, there will be war, there will be many kind of different things in the darkness of uneducation. So yes, education is a common good, and I strongly support it.
Okay, I'll give 1 minute each to other contestant as well. It's the same question. This is not your regular question because after that our meeting I will share the new link. Avansha, just 1 minute. You can also share your view on this question.
I will say that education in terms of, I cannot say it's a common good because I'll define it also, and I'll put a logic also that when I descriptively form that whether the first question is you have to ask to fall into a category of the common good is whether the consumption by one person depletes it for the consumption of other. That is fine, whether it is a rivalrous part of it. And second, whether is it possible to prevent people to have it who have not paid for it, is there any charge for it, like from having the access to it? So I'll say knowledge and wisdom are definitely common goods. And in terms when education comes part of it, the public utility, like the government which is giving it, so that can make up made it like it should be a common good. It should be a common good. But right now what we can see from the definition part of it, and I'm being very assertive about it, when we fall into the categories. So if you can prevent it if you are not paying for it, but if you make it public, and I'm saying that when government makes it in their mandatory or the obligatory function, which now has fallen into, then it becomes a common good. And that is how, when you see that it is growing and it is mandated for all and it should be available for it should be accessible for all, that way it makes it in a platform where education has to be a common good, And similarly, when knowledge and wisdom are considered, they are openly common goods. So there is a kind of a distinction between, so that when we see in the kind of a grid which we classify the goods into, whether they are private goods, whether they are common goods, whether they are club goods, or whether they are open to all. So in that way, education, yes, is a common good if at all the government is having it as an obligatory and mandatory function, which it should have in the good democracy.
Okay.
Sir, may I just add one point?
Avanja has brought in some different dimensions to this.
Yes, as per our right to education policy.
Amit, please wait. I'm just, we will join again till the time, I think that other audience members should be ready with their questions. We have still not asked question from Avansha and Nagesh. So you have time with you. Please, Rashmi, Pushpanjali, Ajay, Abhishek, you have still not asked the question. 2 participants are remaining. Please think over your question and then we will come back with the new link. Okay. Yes, so we still have 2 participants remaining for the audience round. Yes, who would like to ask question from Abhansha or Nagesh? Anyone from the audience? Pushpanjali, you are there. Rashmi, Bala, anyone? Okay, Pushpanjali is raising her hand. Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Pushpanjali. Unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sir,
Yes.
I would like to ask this question to Abansha. So Abansha, how the basic good is different from common good, and why we are putting common good in the prior than to the basic one? Does the common good consist of basic good or not? Yes, so that's it.
Can I
Sir,
start?
am I clear? Am I clear?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Avansha.
Yes, so yes, basic amenities do fall in common goods because that is what we want. But I just want to clearly make this distinction that when you talk about the basic goods and the common goods, they are basically the same thing. When we want to say that basic goods are the common goods, or there is no kind of distinction between the basic and the common, because there are one or the other one. What I can say that the term we can use is the basic amenities, which you are talking about, the wood, food, shelter, and these kind of things, these things which we are inevitable for a human being to live. Yes, these fall into common goods. For an example, which already contestants have talked about, that food is necessary for a life. Yes, you need. shelter is necessary for life. Yes, you need, and that falls in basic good, and then yes, obviously common goods. What I meant before was that what you have to describe it in general economics is when you classify the goods, there are kind of activities which you distinguish into. But when you talk about very particularly that basic, whether basic goods are common goods, yes, basic goods do fall into the category of the common goods itself. I hope I answer your question.
Yeah, if nobody is asking, then I would like you to, get away from this economic concept of common good and go into the social concept of common good. Yes, elaborate upon that aspect.
So socially, yes, we need that. If I have to say a very very basic terms, and let me take the examples from now on. That if a road is considered, basic transportation is considered. So basic transportation, if you make it a toll road, or if you make it a free road, then the congested kind of a road it's a common good. Yeah, it's a common good, and it should be used for everyone for the transportation. But when you make it a toll road, you are making it exclusive for something. So in that terms, there is a kind of regulation which you put into common goods for its benefit. Like if you want to preserve it, some kind of thing. Similarly for natural resources, if sunlight is available to all, fresh air is available to all, clean air is available to all, but is it simultaneously the responsibility of each citizen also, in terms that we should take it in our account also, that yes, you are responsible for it, although it is free of charge, it is available for all, but yet again it falls under your shoulders and your responsibility that you have to take care of these as well. So that is a kind of social responsibility which one should take care. Other things which Amit, I think, talked about is the policy and the institution and the facilities kind of thing. I think right to freedom is basically right to education. What all we have as the rights is also the common goods. We can speak about it and whatever a democracy offers for all of the citizens, they fall into the common goods. Now, definitely there are challenges to make it to common. Like not making it exclusively for one person, or not for a particular caste, or not for the specific domains of the society. But yet the responsibility is to make sure that the common goods are available to all, and everyone has access to it. Now, the basic things like if say public safety, or public safety is a concept which I can say it's a common good. Now, but is everyone safe? No, not we cannot say. But the kind of facility which government has to give to the citizens, that is become where the responsibility of the function of providing public safety to all becomes a common good. But that is where I find that socially it is very important how you take these common goods into your hands, and how you take them as something which is being given to you, offered to you, or is it equally open and available to you. Yes.
Okay, fine. Now we have our last. Okay, Shiladitya, you want to ask question? Yeah, go ahead. You are muted, Shiladitya. You are muted.
Oh, sorry. Am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible now.
Okay, I just want to ask Avanksha that what she has said, can she please clarify one thing? If these common goods are static or dynamic? If it is static, then how? And one more thing, like if it is not static, then is it depending on the temporal structure of our society? I mean, for example, I can give him one example: the internet connection. Before 50 or 100 years ago, I think it was not the common good, but for now, it's going to be a common good. So, who will decide which is the common or not? Essential things we can decide. That Amit has already told us. But who is the person, or who is the cynosure of these things to decide which is common or not for the society?
Okay, I get your question, and I think that's a very good question, and we should ponder upon it, that whether a good falls on the category and when it should be the temporal part of it. I understand it very well. So now when you say that whether it is a static or dynamic point of it, yes, basic amenities are static point of it. You will always need food, you will always need a place to live, you will always need some basic, you will always need the air to breathe. These are the kind of thing which are static. So I'll say when you see about there are both of the components, static as well as the dynamic concepts. Now very well example about the internet commodity as a this thing. I'll take an example of USA. The broadband services are now being reaching to rural services, and now they have made it a mandatory thing. Broadband for America is a new concept, and Broadband for America has been a new agency and organization itself, where they are making sure that each and everyone gets a broadband connection, every household, every primary, like the one that we are ensured that we should get a water connection, that we should get a sewer connection. These are the public amenities, we should definitely get it in the democracy part of it and the basic public amenities. Now the developed countries, when they have already saturated and made sure that the basic amenities which you are in need are satisfied, and they are moving on, towards the new concepts and the new dynamics of it, whether these, okay, now the society needs the broadband connection because again, I'll take an example of the current situation, the pandemic. Work from home has become such a mandatory concept. The education has become a very diversified platform where now you are mandated to use your smartphones, where you require internet. Now it has become a need rather than a want. So the separation between the need and the want, I think that makes a common good. When you are making this thing that you absolutely need it.
Time's up. Time.
Okay, yeah. So I think that was my.
Yeah, fine. We need to stick to the time limit as well. Now our last contestant is remaining, Nagesh. Yes, anybody from the audience would like to ask question from Nagesh? The question can be any, you can test him in any dimension. This is an open debate. Means you want to ask? Otherwise, I will ask. Nobody? Rashmi? Yeah, go ahead, Rashmi. Please ask question to Nagesh.
I want to ask this question. Is the common good approach is a valid way to decide what is wrong or what is right?
Yeah, very nice question. Very deep question. Nagesh, did you get the question, Nagesh?
So once again, can you repeat the question?
Rashmi.
Is the common good approach is a valid way to decide right or wrong? Like what is right or wrong for a society?
Yeah, when it comes to the common goods, it's the basic needs of the basic needs of the human. It's a human rights to ask, because everyone rights to ask that it's in a right way, because it's the basic needs and they have rights to ask these common goods. Because let's take an example of food is a basic of needs, and let's take an example of if I'm a employee and I have my basic the priority to take these all the products to work and to work, and if there's some certain things which I am not able to afford, if there someone has to be, for example, company has to pay for me, company has to serve these all the common goods. This is my basic rights to ask the company. When the people demand is increased in a wide basis, so obviously it's a common rights to ask government or the entities to add this point in the common goods.
Then what about the advancement we require to proceed as a society? Like if we only think about the basic ideas or basic requirements, then how will we advance?
See,
Like,
basic requirements, basic. You are talking about the advancement, right? How we can continue with the advancement?
yeah.
See, advancement, how I can say, like, let's take an example like IIT. IIT, it was not there in the India, but when the government has instituted the IIT has came to effect into force in since 1960. IIT has came into force, and now IIT has grown in the next level. And now the basic things of this education has to distribute every part of the country, because IIT is not limited number. IIT is not there in the maximum number in the Bihar. IIT is not there in the another state, northeastern state, and IIT is not there in the much number in the other part. There is the institutes that distribute in the certain the certain regions, and this has to be implement in the every part of the country. Then each and everyone have access to go and approach. This is the one example of the education. Let's take an example of the health. How the health can be implemented, because the basic health sector and hospital is a basic necessary for each and every human, because to get a healthy get a treatment, good treatment. and because good treatment, and there are the many villages, because India has more than 6 lakh villages. All villages doesn't have access of the hospitals, and now to provide these basic the hospital to every village, it is a basic necessity of the government. It has to provide. This is along with the advancement. How advancement can be helped? Let's take an example of this pandemic. We don't have a exact right data of all the Indians who have the COVID, and who have got positive, who have got negative, because they access the internet. Let's internet also, to provide the internet and to making a facility of the computerized and making a facility of advanced the doctors to that particular hospital, and making a good transport system, and the availability of drones also, implementing the drones. For example, in the remote sense area, we are not able to go and approach immediately, because there will be no route to reach those people. So during this time, we can go with a certain the model of technology, where we can directly approach the people to give their basic needs.
Okay, see, before going to the voting round, I just want to give 1 minute again to all the contestants. If they think whatever point they could not make it, and like that they want to add something, whatever, you can add on to your points, or whatever. Okay, so Amit was asking for some 1 minute, so I will give that 1 minute to each one of you if you require it. Yes, Amit, go ahead. What was your point?
Like Rashmi just asked that the question that how this policy should be judged. So common good must be the only and only basis on which a policy or a framework should be judged. That's it.
I would add one more thing in that. If the population we are having, if we only cater the basic need of the society, then how will we advance? That was my question. Is it the only approach the policies should be made?
Yes, it is the only approach. Reason being, if I am making one policy for 100 crore people, then it should at least benefit 80 crore people. This is what I'm trying to say. For example,
but that also is very
Rashmi, now let him finish, and the question is over now. Okay, yeah.
Let me complete. Like a fundamental right, like a right to education, like right of liberty, like right to speech, right, freedom of choosing a religion, secularism, being a democratic part, being a secular part. These all comes into a framework which will benefit the most of the group of people or the citizens of India. Similarly, like if we say that I am making one policy like right of internet. Recently, it was in news that giving internet should be a basic right or not. So, if it is going to help 80 crore people in 100 crore, then it should be made a right.
Okay, very well said, Amit. Yeah, very well said. 1 minute each to the contestants if they want to add something. Yes, Avansha, you want to add something? Yeah.
Yes, sir. So I'll take on to that. I think what Amit has said is right, but I'll add to that again. If I see Rashmi's question, I'll take it as a pyramid. I'll take it the common goods platform where the basic amenities and the basic facilities should be at the bottom level, should be at the foundation level, whereas the advancement to the technology and the growth of the sectors will be higher levels, at the upper levels. You have to finish your base first, and then only you can grow up. That is fine, but then also you can step up, and then while completing the course of your foundational dimension, you have to start with the other levels as well, so to make it growth up to the apex. So I think there is a mix of the needs where you have to first make sure that the bottom level is satisfied, the basic amenities to the citizens and the society is granted, and make sure that is accessible to all, and then you simultaneously grow on the upper levels of advancement so that it carries on with the and matches up. So it's a very economic question, that where you have to start with the one thing as well, and you have to parallelly keep on working on the others to make sure that that is a kind of development and a holistic development which is going on. That's it from my side.
Yeah, very well said. Yes, Aishwarya, you would like to add something? Yeah, 1 minute to you.
Yes, sir. I have nothing to add from my side.
No, you should. So I'll make you speak. Huh? So just elaborate upon, any concept from life or family. For example, do you think that the relationships uh, are also part of, very important part of life? And if you are discussing about common good, then we need to go to that level wherein we start talking about the relationships as well. Because if you talk about life, a good life, healthy life, then do you see relationship coming into the domain of common good? Yes.
Yes, sir. Whatever the society we are speaking, it completely stands on the like the foundation of a family. Without the family being a foundation, there's no society we can discuss. There's nothing we can move forward. So this family is a is an institutions, the basic institutions which is formed by all the relationships, all type of relationships we know, we can see, we discuss. So whenever common good comes into place, when it is when we are trying to make it available to people, that means we are making available to a family where all their relations are going to be better, get better, so that the society can get better. Like let's say we are trying to provide education. So when children grow, so they would help the family to grow into a better place. They would let others around them also provide. So this way also common good will impact or effect or would basically stand on the concept of a family and relationships.
Fine, fine. Very well said. Yes, Nagesh, 1 minute to you. You want to add to something what you have said?
Yeah, well, when it comes to the relationship, you have asked the question the same. I would like to add some points because when a person is a kid or a small kid, his basic needs are something different. And when it comes to he started education, his communities are different. And when he get into a relation with a girl or when he get to marriage, and his communities will keep on changing. And when he got the kids, and again the community will keep on change. And it is how it is like a life process. How we have that the system like brahmacharya, so the brahmacharya and grahastha, and there is the sannyasi and the vanavasa. This is how the system is there. Each and every step there is a communities are keep on increase in the human life. And when the person is reached the 60 years, his community might be down, and he won't use like he won't use some much communities like which he had used during the early life. This is how the communities are completely dependent on the human life, and the relationships really make a more impact on the communities where it increases the communities level from the bottom to high level.
Okay, very well said. Now we come to the voting round. Audience, you have to give marks to them out of 4. There are 4 participants. You have the choice either to give them 1 mark each, or you want to give them 4 mark total, whatever will be your score. Give them the marks and submit it to the 2 people here, Abhishek and Kavya. They will do the totaling and they will inform me via chat. Okay, then I will declare the 2 participants who will move to the second round. Yes, please submit your responses to Kavya and Abhishek. Till the time voting is being done, I would like to add a message here about, FDNI is just not a single organization. It is not uh, the only organization. There are 2 other associated organizations, Vidyadhar Academy and Let'sPlayBuddy.com. They are very special in a way that anybody who wants to integrate their life on 3 dimensions, socio-economic, political dimensions together. If you are looking for that kind of integration in your life, then all these 3 forums are the open forums, public forums. Anybody can join in, and so that your life will be kind of comprehensive. It will be, whatever you are doing in your life, keep on doing that. At the same time, just participating in FTNI will make you eligible for being the members of these 2 organizations as well. And if they will grow, definitely, uh, you will also grow. We all will grow. So it is like an experiment going on in democracy from our side. Okay, try to take it as an experiment. And okay, fine. Yes, you have to see, you have 4 marks. The voter has the 4 marks. You can give that 4 out of 4 to one participant, or you can divide. If you like them equally, you give 1 marks each. If you like the 2 candidates, give them 2 marks each, things like that. It is your choice.
Acha, oh, I okay. Total marks is 4 only, no?
Yeah, total marks is 4. You have your 4 marks in your hand. You accordingly you can give it to the participants. Avansha, Aishwarya, Amit, and Nagesh are 4 participants. You don't have to give it like for Aishwarya for 1 out of 4, Nagesh. No, that is not the right way.
Okay.
If all the contestants, audience like Shiladitya, Rupal Lakshmi, Bala, Rashmi, and Pushpanjali, if they have submitted their scores to Abhishek and Kavya, then you can just message it to me. I'll see the scores. We will not declare those things. Whatever is the marks, I'll just declare the name of the 2 contestants who will be moving to the second round. Yes, fine. You give it to Kavya and Abhishek as well, not just to Kavya. Yeah, you can submit it to me. But see, totaling will be done by this Kavya and Abhishek. I can just have a look at the score, but they will do the totaling. Okay, because so in the meantime, yes, I can ask Shilaite, have you submitted your marks? Shilaite?
Yeah, I mistakenly submitted to you only. I am sending it to Kavya.
Okay. Bala, if you have heard the 4 participants a little bit, whatever, maybe, then you can submit your marks out of 2 only. Okay, because you don't get, so you don't get 4 marks. You can submit, or I will say just keep it 1 mark. You only have 1 mark. You submit your 1 mark to whichever participant you want to give. Okay, because at least you have seen them in the last 1 minute, whatever they have spoken. So give your 1 mark. Yes, so let me see.
Increase the marks, no sir. Marks के साथ होना सर. 1 number तो अच्छा भी नहीं लगता अभी. Make it 10.
Why are you doing this 0.5? Why are you making things difficult? Keep it simple, 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. You are going into the 0.5, 1.5 domain. Please, it's okay. Let us see how Kavya and Abhishek are going to handle this. It is the beginning. It's our first debate in this way. We are doing the voting. But definitely in the next debates, we will improve from here. And so still waiting for the results. And yes, Amit, you can continue. Whatever is there in your heart. Okay.
So only 2 people voted so far.
Only 2 people voted. Now this is strange. Pushpanjali, haven't you voted?
Sir, Pushpanjali and Rashmi.
Rashmi and Pushpanjali have not voted, huh?
No, just 2 people are voted.
Okay,
I have voted.
Rashmi voted.
Shilaliki has not voted. And
Rashmi voted.
okay, Rashmi and Pushpanjali.
Rashmi voted and Pushpanjali voted. But sir, Pushpanjali ने थोड़ा सा
you need to also vote, Abhishek and Kavya. Have you voted?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes. So please do the counting and submit it to me. The total score of the 4 participants, so that I can verify who are the toppers. So it is for you people. If you happen to go to this website, letsplaybuddy.com, go to it. You can find the very unique features over there. Okay, sports is a very important part of our life. Yes, Abhishek.
Correct. सर पुष्पांजलि ने पहले अवांशा को 4 नंबर दिए, देन उसके बाद उन्होंने नागेश को 3, अमित को 2, ऐश्वर्या को 1 दिया।
This is
समझ में नहीं आया मेरे को।
Pushpanjali, you have
टोटल
marks with you.
टोटल 4 मार्क्स आप किसी को भी दे दीजिए, एक-एक करके दे दीजिए।
Pushpanjali, you just
Okay, sir.
your marks.
Okay, sir, I got it.
You got it. Yes. Submit
Sir,
your.
you should also vote.
Yes. Shilayate, have you submitted your score? Okay. Fine. So from
Sir,
I've got the score, and now I'm waiting for Abhishek.
sir, you can make it out of 40. At least for us, it will be beneficial.
Out of
Marking should be improved.
Anyway, it will be a just summation, so it will not affect anybody. But for us, it will be better.
Score is easier than adding that 10, 20, 30 things like that.
Yes.
So Abhishek, I'm just your response. Kavya has submitted. This is not looking good. The difference between, you need to submit the same responses to Abhishek and Aishwarya. Why this difference is coming? That is why I've chosen 2 people. Something is wrong. Abhishek?
मेरे पास सर काव्या के मार्क्स नहीं आए मेरे पास।
Kavya, please submit your score to this Abhishek.
Sir,
Yes, hello.
sir, from next time we can have some Google form or that way, which we can be link can be circulated, and then directly results will be coming
Sir,
out. And
I'll
in
do the
Excel.
Google form. I'll make a Google form exclusively for this so that it will be easy for the evaluation.
Oh, yeah, sure. I was looking for such cooperation. Thanks. So next time we'll do it that way. Yeah. Abhishek,
Yes sir.
please submit.
Done sir.
Okay, so the results are out, and so the 2 contestants who will be going to the next round are, both the girls, Avansha and Aishwarya. Okay, so Avansha and Aishwarya are moving to our second round now. Amit and Nagesh, now you will also be working as the voters. Okay, so so now we enter into our second round. It is an audience round only. Audience is free to ask questions from them, and one by one. See, the question will shall be same to both the contestants. Okay, you ask a simple question, and both the contestants will give a reply to those questions within 1 minute time. Okay, we will keep it brief so that rest of the audience can also ask the questions. So who is going to ask the first question to both Aishwarya and Avansha? Yes.
Yes, sir. I would like to ask the question.
Yeah, Nagesh, please.
Yeah, I would like to ask this question to Aishwarya.
No, it is
Aishwarya,
common.
for anyone.
Yeah, it's a common. Then we'll reply one by one. Okay. Yeah. So yes, Nagesh, what's your question?
My question is that is there any difference communities between based on the gender?
In fact, I did not get your question. Please repeat it again.
So, is there any difference? Is there any commodity difference between difference based on the gender?
I think he's saying that are there essential differences between the genders? If yes, then elaborate upon them. Can you analyze the difference
Yes.
between genders? Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
please. Yeah.
Yeah, may I go?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, I think that's a very fundamental question. And as previously we have seen when the Essentials Commodity Acts and the GST started, we had raise in the taxes for the sanitary napkins as well. So when this kind of situation arises, there is definitely a difference of essential commodities between the genders. I think when a particular essence of genderhood are considered, there are few things which has to be differentiated and has to be common in public goods for gender specific roles. And I think I have given you an example which particularly I meant. So even when you talk about so that is one commodity. I also talk about one an opportunity. In these terms, as we have seen reservations and those kind of policy initiatives for the backward class of the people, similar role have been done for the women as well. So reservations in institutions, reservation in other sort of industries, reservation in coming up on the workplaces front. Initially, we didn't have women coming up forward for the work as well. We just had a very specific role definited for the gender in that back time. So as we said that there are static and dynamic concepts of the common goods and the common resources. I think when we grow into these things, yes, there are some roles which has to be differences, and there are some goods that has to be allocated as per the gender. So yes, good question, and yes, there are differences in the common goods for the genders.
Aishwarya.
I think I answered.
Yeah, Aishwarya, go ahead.
Yes, sir. As she said, she almost covered all the points. So that was true. The commodities have can be differentiated based on gender also. So as per the usage, since we are saying common goods are changing, like from one time to, I mean, there are also many goods are getting added to the common goods. So based on requirement and based on society's needs and advancements. So currently, whenever the common good concept comes, this gender also comes into place when it is implemented. Whenever a policy is made, then based on social status, economic status, and at the same time based on gender also, they will be made and categorized. And I think that's it, sir.
Okay, fine. So we will take another question from the participant. I'll share the link again. Please rejoin soon, and we will wind up this in next 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah. So be ready with your. Okay. So Sanket, who was supposed to be our contestant today, has joined now as an audience. Sanket, if you have joined, we have moved to the second round, and the forum is open. We are asking questions to our final two participants, Avansha and Aishwarya. If you have a question, you can ask from them.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, please ask.
I'm right now unaware of the topic. I just joined. So if anyone else can.
No, now it is an open platform. The topic was common good today, but you can ask any question. You can anything. It's a debate, open. Yes. Okay, Nagesh, if you are ready, you can ask the question. Hello, Nagesh.
Yes, I don't have any questions.
You don't have any questions? Yes.
Yeah, done.
Yeah. Amit, you want to ask? Yeah.
Sir, yes, I have a question. Sir, how the common good theory will help India or will help a bureaucrat to solve the northeastern issues like demand of borrowed land or the conflicts between different tribes of Assam, Manipur, and all. How this theory will help us.
Very nice. Yes, go ahead. Who would like to speak? Aishwarya or Avancha? Yeah.
Okay, so as we discussed, I am not fully aware of the issues which he's talking about, but I'm taking that it is to deal with the backwardness of that area not being properly represented, and the total accessibility of them as citizens in the overall participation as an Indian citizen. So can I go ahead with that, or otherwise Amit has to some follow up or something? If I can go.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Not anything.
So when we talk about this common good as a concept, there is a concept which I read, that is tragedy of commons. So tragedy of commons is what basically that it's common good is open to all. The access is for everybody's. So now what happens is definitely it gets consumed by one person and it gets the other person in a backward stages or the later stages. That is a kind of basic raw concept which we have. And we can take other examples for the commodities as well. When now you come in the concept of tragedy of commons, is it is overused. Sometimes the commodities are overused, and that makes it less accessible to the other person or to the other person. Now, to rectify this, what should be there? One is you have to start regulating these things in a manner where each of all the communities needs and gets a proper access to that. So suppose if I say the distribution center, the food distribution mechanism, what goes from government to the very grassroots people, where wheat or rice or very basic kind of food crops being distributed to the very lower section of the societies. Now, to ensure that these people are not neglected in that process, there could be many different mechanisms which this can follow up, and the common goods can be reached to these marginalized people. And then who plays that role is there has to be some kind of decentralization. It definitely starts with the central government, and then it has to come upon the various needs of the state government and then local government, and that to the very basic needs, some corporate organization or the NGOs, or which can assist in following up to these kind of amenities, which should reach and get accessible to these other background people. So I think what the key lies in here, or the common good theory which we can use, is what we essentially need is that it has to be established that they also have the right for this, first of all, and second, some person or the government is responsible to make them accessible to them. I think if these two balances are made and they are done, we can definitely tackle and rise to some issues over there in North Indian states. Hello.
Sir, you are mute.
Sir, you are mute.
Yeah, so Aishwarya, Amit asked that how does this concept of common good will help us in resolving the issues of Northeast? Yes, so your views on this?
Yes, sir. So far, to whatever extent I know, the northeastern states need more recognition. Like most of the country's people, like currently we have seen some issues, like some people are targeting, saying Arunachal Pradesh as a part of China and abandoning them just because they look like China and Chinese people and some other things. So all first thing is they need to be recognized as a part of India. Even though the government have many plans, policies, and given some special articles in the constitution itself, when it was not being treated as a part of India, then or given the same freedom or same rights or provided the same like whatever the status they are supposed to be given, then the concept of common good, like even though we are trying to implement, it won't reach to the grassroots levels. It would stay just like it was given in the constitution, like these were provided. So people, first thing, they need to be recognized, they need to be accepted as a part of India. They were part of India, and it should be made sure that they should not be biased just because the northeastern states are away or not being known to people. So the common good, using this common good theory also, northeastern states problems can be solved, yes, because they have rights, the same rights of rest of the country. They have same right to education, same right for freedom, same right to express themselves, but they should be recognized or um, they should be simply what I'm trying to say is just
Yeah, more.
they need to be heard.
Yes, they need to be heard. Yes. So
Yes, sir.
that's the right way to present it. Yes. Any other question from the audience? Sanket, if you are ready with your question, you can ask. Hello. Yes. Pushpanjali, any question?
Sir, I have a question.
Okay, Nagi.
Yeah, let's take all the countries, including 206 countries. Is there all the countries have a same common goods based on the categories or different?
Interesting question. Yes. Yes, you need to define it. Yes, go ahead, Avansha.
So sorry, which country? So can I get it back?
No, whatever, there are just so many different countries in the world. So he's saying, are they having the same approach towards common good?
Okay. Okay. I think what basic amenities and when the basic survival needs are concerned, as far as survival needs are concerned, then definitely yes, some basic platform at that very level. All these countries, entire human civilization, I think, is having the same kind of common goods approach. But yes, definitely there could be differences. There could be cultural differences. There could be upbringing differences. There could be lifestyle differences. So what you feel is a need or a very essential thing for one person at one particular location cannot be the similar one. So I think I can take an example of the diversity within the Indian region itself. The northern people or the upside people or the kind of various climate differences, the various geographical differences makes it inevitable that there could be any kind of needs. So when you see the economically different and diverse group, so if I say fishermen population, if somewhere is very dominant in a particular country, or some people have those kind of resources which needs to be exploited for their livelihood or their livelihood, then that becomes their common good and their approach for the common good theories. Whereas some other country where I think mountains are the region, or the geographically rich crops are the one, rivers are the major resources, then there could be that which can be the major and the common goods can be taken as. So I think the diversity, geographical, cultural diversity, and that kind of plays very important role in defining what common good can be for civilization, and definitely that could go into when we say for the countries as well.
Okay. Yes, Aishwarya, go ahead.
Yes, sir. So yes, like I would like to add to her. What she said was correct, because when we are defining common goods, we are defining it based on a particular community, or to the most extent of a society we are defining. And when we define a society, it was varied across all the globe in a different perspectives or different means. So the common good also varies from place to place, or based on the necessities of the people, or based on the requirements of the people, or the kind of problems they are particularly facing. Let's for example, currently we were speaking about internet. So internet, we in this particular situation, internet has become a common good, which was as Avansha mentioned, it was being recognized in US and being provided to the grassroots levels to each and every family as a broadband services. And in India also, there were these work from homes, and all the schools and all the online classes were there, where internet needs to be recognized as a common good and should be provided right now in this situation. So they may not be the same for all and at all places, but I mean, there would be differences. That was true.
Okay, so we would like to wind up this now. We will take up the second round voting now because we need to declare winner. By the way, all of you are the winner, or all the participants of this edition. There is no loser in this exercise, but we have to declare the winner. So we'll do this exercise now. All of you, the rest of you, submit your score to Abhishek. Abhishek will let us know. Who is your choice? You just give the name of the person. Now we only have the two candidates. Marks are not required. You just give the name of the person you prefer. Abhishek will give me the score via chat box. Okay. How many people voted for Avansha? How many people voted for Aishwarya? So Abhishek will let me, or he will declare it. Let him declare it. You will declare yourself, Abhishek. Kindly submit your results very fast. You have to message it to Abhishek. Don't declare it. Let it be a secret exercise. So how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 voters are there. Okay, Abhishek.
Sir, four votes to Avansha and 2 votes to Ashwin.
Fine. So we have today's winner is Avansha. Congratulations, Avansha. And you performed really well. It looked like you were very much prepared as well in all sense. And
I didn't get time, sir. Sorry, it wasn't actually.
so,
But I'll honestly say I have been through the kind of education or the post graduation or where I have been into the economics of common goods that has helped me into this domain. I think others are really good with the the socially or the current affairs part of it, but the only thing I am taught and I have been in a background of was because of economically this thing. So I think every other people have given so much insights to these things. I have noted down personally that okay, I didn't think of these things. So yes, so that had been a good exercise actually.
yeah, sure. But overall, the exercise we are also doing here because there is a huge difference between when we are thinking and when we are expressing. Our thought process gets integrated. So this is a huge, great learning going on for you people, all of you who are participating here. So keep participating, and then we will meet in our next debate. Thank you very much, all of you, and thanks to our viewers for being part of this debate. If you like it, you can subscribe to our channel, and you can also share this. And as I mentioned that we invite two contestants from all over India. You can be part of our debate as well. 3 contestants will be from our side, our group, and 2 contestants from anywhere in India can also join this. Okay, thank you very much. See you in our next edition of FTNI debate.